Alright, I know this news got out a few days ago. I didn't have time to talk about it then, but I got time to talk about it right now, so let's talk about it now, because I still want to talk about it, because I got quite a few things to say about it. It, of course, being the news that Wicked Part 2 has pulled a Glinda, and changed its name to Wicked for Good. Alright, first of all, I understand the reasoning behind it. It's obvious. The song For Good is in Act 2 of the show, and it's arguably, if not unanimously agreed, to be the most important song in the entire show. Sure, Defying Gravity might be the most popular, but as far as emotion and the narrative of the story, For Good is the most important song, hands down. Not gonna give away spoilers, not gonna give away what the song's about or who sings it or what, but it's true. So this new title indicates that it's all leading to the moment where that song is sung. And it's gonna be all about the emotions and we're all gonna cry, because we are. So this title is saying that the entire movie is pretty much just about that moment. It's the point of the whole thing. Plus, it's also a play on words. Wicked for good. I mean, we all know the term for good means permanently, and with the words wicked and good having opposite meanings, it's kind of funny. Wicked for good. Plus, you look at the end of the first movie, Elphaba is seen as wicked now, but she is on the side of good, so she is wicked for good. So it's like a triple meaning there in this new title. So yeah, I do get it. That being said, I hate it. Why did this happen? When my friend first told me this news, he sent me a link to the post. My immediate knee-jerk reaction was, oh no, boo, I hate it. Why did they do this? I understand that this is kind of superficial in the grand scheme of things. It's still gonna be the same movie, but I had my thoughts on the subject. And this isn't just because the first movie is called Part 1, although that is part of it for sure. But I do honestly think that if the first movie were called, like, for example, Wicked Defying Gravity or something, I still probably wouldn't have liked that. Don't name each half of this adaptation after, like, the biggest song in it. That's just tacky. That'd be like if you had West Side Story and split it into two films. If you had the first one called West Side Story Tonight and the second one called West Side Story Somewhere. Yeah, that'd just be weird. But also, yeah, the continuity of it all. The first movie was called Wicked Part 1. We saw it in the title card. So what are they gonna do with that? Will the title card of the second movie still say Wicked Part 2? Will it say Wicked Part 2 for good or just Wicked for good? What'll they do? And if they do change it to say Wicked for good, then what about Part 1? That's just gonna tear my brain apart with a never-ending itch if they just leave it as is. You have Wicked Part 1 and Wicked for Good? Oh my god, no! I can't live with that. Or are they gonna do what Mission Impossible did with their last movie? Which was Dead Reckoning Part 1 at first, and it was Part 1 when it came out in theaters, and then post-release, Paramount went, we're gonna take away the Part 1 from the title. It's just gonna be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning now. But for people who bought the Blu-ray, it still says Part 1. Can't change that. I don't know if it still says Part 1 in the digital release, because I haven't watched it since theaters, I'll be honest. But yeah, it makes me wonder what they're gonna do to Wicked Part 1, if anything. Are they gonna change the title card in its digital release? Since that hasn't happened yet, they still got time to do it if they want to, I guess. And if they do change it, what'll they change it to? Are they just gonna take away the Part 1 and just have it like they advertised it, just be Wicked? Or are they gonna do like continuity type thing? Are they gonna name it like Wicked Defying Gravity or something to keep up with Wicked for Good, also named after one of the songs? Just this whole thing is a mess in my head. Because either you call them Wicked Part 1 and Wicked Part 2 in the title cards in the movies, in which case you can call it whatever you want in the marketing, or are they actually going to change the title cards in the movies? Because I don't want to watch the movies and have the title cards say Part 1 and then For Good. That's just gonna kill me. There needs to be continuity there. Again, superficial, I know, but I'm a stickler for this kind of stuff. I mean, either way, I'm still gonna call the upcoming movie Part 2. I'm still gonna call it Wicked Part 2, because I just like it better. You have Wicked Part 1 and you have Wicked Part 2. Part 1 and Part 2, it just makes sense, because the show has Act 1 and Act 2. It's kind of playing off of that, or at least that's how I saw it. So like when the trailers come out and I make videos on them, I might still call them Wicked for Good trailer, just for popularity's sake, because I guess that's what it's officially gonna be called. But I'm still gonna call the movie Part 2 in the videos when I talk about them. I don't know what to say, man. I refuse to call the second movie Wicked for Good. I don't like it. I hate it. But of course, I still have all sorts of faith that the movie's gonna be good, because it is still the same movie. It just had a title change. That's it. I mean, they filmed the whole thing thinking that it's gonna be called Wicked Part 2, so it is still technically Wicked Part 2, because it is Wicked Part 2. It's Part 2 of Wicked. Changing the title to Wicked for Good seems like a last-minute decision for whatever reason. I don't even know who made it. Was it John M. Chu? Was it the studio? Who knows? But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I despise this new title. I refuse to call it Wicked for Good. The movie is what it forever shall be, and that is Wicked Part 2. I mean, that being said, I might get used to this new title over the course of the next 11 months. Maybe I will end up calling it Wicked for Good. Time will tell, but for right now, it's Wicked Part 2. Alright, so what are your thoughts on this news? I've actually heard different things. Some people really like it. My brother and his girlfriend, who is in Wicked on Broadway, they both hate it. So there's a spectrum of opinions. I want to know yours, so whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!